This was a project that I worked on with a friend of mine a long time ago. This was an example of tolerating things. It was a technical drawing company, prototyping. There's a standard of excellence in that industry that's somewhere around 4% or 5% errors or less for the prototyping engineering staff to be able to put something together properly. Well, these guys did less than 2% errors. But as they grew, because they were really good at it, value proposition grows business, they had more and more drawers. And as they had more and more drawers come on board, lo and behold, a drawing went out with too many errors. So they thought, I have an idea. Rather than just send drawings out, why don't we check them first? So we'll have junior drawers have senior drawers check them. Well, by and by, another drawing made it through that still had too many errors on it. Bummer. So now we have, we don't want to do that anymore. So now we're going to have a preliminary draft, have that checked, and then a final draft and have that checked. And we're going to have, then we'll have it go out. By and by, still drawings went out that had errors in it. So they installed more structures and more structures and more structures over time, more management architectures, more. By the time I got there, there was first preliminary drawing, second preliminary drawing, third preliminary drawing, first final draft, second final draft, third final draft, 4 other people. The amount of we were spending now something like 78 or 80% extra time, like 8 times the amount of time, 8,000% the time that we need to get a drawing done with all of these people touching it, and still there were drawings going out that were no good. So we made it that we're going to be intolerant about this. We're no longer going to have a management architecture in place that guarantees the efficacy of drawing. We're going to have people held to a standard. You do 2% or less. You don't, you're fired. There's no more paying people to do BS work in this company. So we had a 17-person drawing staff, and it turns out on a 17-person drawing staff, there was only one person that couldn't cut it to do 2% or less errors, and we had to let that person go. Everybody else didn't need to be babysat and were able to do 2% or errors every time. So that's an example of, taking a huge amount of work off of people's plate because we just got intolerant about something that people were that their company was very tolerant about. They were very tolerant about people doing BS work, and then we stopped that, and now they're not.